See, I feel like I feel like the episode more or less gave us the perfect name for this Doctor Strange, which is Dr. Armani. I feel as though Dr. Armani is the perfect name for this version of Doctor Strange, but no, the internet just had to go ahead and call him Doctor Strange Supreme. So fine, we're going to discuss Doctor Strange Supreme. Not only are we going to discuss Doctor Strange Supreme, we're also going to talk about whether or not this is the most powerful version of the Doctor Strange character. So, I don't think he's the most powerful version of the Doctor Strange character. We've seen wildly more powerful versions of Doctor Strange in comics. And I'm not talking about the current Doctor Strange that we can see in, I would say, probably the 1990s to present run. I'm talking more or less about the Doctor Strange from about, I'd say, the 1980s to maybe like the early 90s. That version of Doctor Strange is wildly powerful. He could reverse time, bring people back from the dead, teleport across the entire universe, hop between different dimensions, collapse dimensions, create dimensions. That version of Doctor Strange was so strong that Marvel had to nerf him twice. I do not believe that Doctor Strange Supreme is as powerful as that version of Doctor Strange. However, I do believe that this version of Doctor Strange has an advantage that the other versions of Doctor Strange don't. So, his main advantage, for the most part, is the fact that his hands, he can use them. He didn't lose his hands in the accident that was supposed to cause him to go to Kamatage. There's so many like weird names you have to remember. It's like Kunlun, Kamatage, Kumite. He didn't have that same accident as the main universe Doctor Strange. In this universe, Christine was the one who died, and Strange more or less maintained his hands and his faculties. The upside for Sorcerer Supreme Strange, or Doctor Strange Supreme, is the fact that he doesn't have to cast seals. He doesn't have to chant. He doesn't have to more or less create the source code for the program that he wants to run in regards to spells. He basically thinks about the spell that he wants to cast and he instantaneously casts it because the sources of his power, and this is one of the things that I feel as though a lot of people don't understand. When Doctor Strange casts spells, there are two kinds of spells. There are spells that take the energy of the universe around him. Let's say a normal fireball, or opening a portal from one area to another. He's drawing on ambient energy, ambient universal energy, in order to complete these feats. However, if you were to watch his fight against Thanos, and he's able to bind Thanos with those red cords, or when he um, casts an ability that creates the mirror dimension, those are powers that he's borrowing from demonic entities. Well, not only demonic entities, but mystical entities as well. He's siphoning power from that being in order to cast his spell. This version of Doctor Strange doesn't need to do that. All of those entities he more or less absorbed into himself. Now, one of the reasons why I think he's both one of the more powerful versions of Strange is because he doesn't have to chant. So you don't know what's coming next. He can seamlessly go into one spell. He can seamlessly go from one spell to another spell without any type of interruption in any way, shape, or form. Now, one of the reasons why he's also one of the weaker versions of Strange is because of the fact that he's mentally ill. The grief of losing Christine has completely driven him insane. Not only is he mentally ill, but he's also fighting for control, not only of his body, but also of his soul, of all the beings that he's absorbed into himself. You see a variation of this towards the end when he finally absorbs his other half, and in absorbing his other half, he like transforms into this monster, which is just an amalgamation of all the creatures that he'd absorbed previously. Now, could this version of Doctor Strange appear in Multiverse of Madness? Absolutely, because he's not dead at the end of the episode. He's basically the last This is another thing which could also put him at the top for being an extremely powerful being. He survived the collapse of his universe. Not only did he survive the collapse of his universe, he also held his universe at bay, trying to stop it from collapsing in its final moments. And he's the last surviving being from that universe trapped inside of that chrysalis. Could he come back for Multiverse of Madness? I would hope so. Like, I would hope that R. Strange would meet him and in some way, shape, or form redeem him, or maybe he would do something to help Strange and then pass on, joining his Wong and his Christine. But man, for the like, this Strange like completely caught me off guard. I didn't think he was going to be as powerful as he is, but he ended up being like an absolute delight. They didn't make him too overpowered, even though he was absorbing like these lesser beings. But at the exact same time, the simple fact that he had the creatures inside of him was able to just seamlessly go from one cast to another cast without the need of runes or seals or spells definitely puts him at the top tier for magical beings inside of the MCU, and I cannot wait for his return. Peace. Still holding this, by the way.